Very nice. Just becoming quiet for a moment, allowing the body to settle. And as the body settles, become very much acquainted to the sensations of your body. Can you see with your mind's eye what it feels like? Can you engage with all of your senses what it feels like? And allow the sensations of your body to create a path into your meditation. Many of the sensations that we feel within meditation are sensations that we can just simply let go of and allow them to come and go. And through the process of letting go and allowing the sensations just to simply move through us, there is one level of that sensation which just simply will not dissolve. And that level of our sensation is the one that we want to pay the closest attention to. And it's not found within discomfort, it's found within deep comfort. We want to cultivate such a close relationship to that very soft, joyous, almost blissful-like sensation, so that then we can come to that place very quickly when we go to sit and become quiet. We want to get to know that sensation so well that we can carry it with us into every moment throughout the day, whether the eyes are opened or closed. And what that sensation is providing is a focal point for your senses. so that it's no longer random. Variety of oscillations is just one expressive sensation that can speak to all levels of communication. And that steadying, which is found is in a lot of ways priceless in its ability to influence positively not only our life, your life, but the lives of the individuals who are immediately around you. The developing of that steadying of sensation is very easy. It just takes time. Time meaning visiting it again and again, every day. And you'll notice quickly over the span of 90 days even, that you become responsive. And as we begin to notice this sensation for ourselves within this moment, let's take the opportunity to begin to breathe into that single sensation. Giving that expressive moment depth. And also direction. And you may notice that our breathing experience has its own sensation, separate from that of the body and its comfort. And as we get to know the pathway that the breath takes, we begin to see with that mind's eye that there's a moment on that path of the breath where the sensation of your breathing and the sensation of the body actually become one thing. And the unification which occurs at that moment in time is the environment that we want to create in order for the mind to become at rest. Become familiar with the pathway that the breath takes is to strengthen your identity within the experience that you're having. Not from the definition of the mind, but from a definition of intelligence that seems to be feeding both the experience of sensation of breath, body, and functioning mind. And you can feel that it's tangible, it's overriding. The pathway of the breath that I'm talking about starts with the opening. Just there, the moment when you notice the breath enter into your body. And what's quite amazing about this simple thing called breathing is that it demands so much of our attention in order to be felt. And that attention which it demands speaks to two things. One, its ability to strengthen the concentrating mind. And two, its subtlety. And that subtlety piece is really important if the interest is in self-development and any aspect of the mind, because the breathing and its subtle rhythm enables us to go deeper. It becomes our vehicle. It is the energy. And the more subtle we can relate and connect to that breathing, you'll find the more quiet the mind becomes. And the mind is able to nestle right into the experience of the body, which is very comfortable. The path of the breathing continues through the passage into the airway and fills the lungs. And that path of the breathing aligns to that path of sensation of the body, and then the two are working together to strengthen the groove of your meditation, so that then all senses become completely enveloped by the experience that is occurring at a single moment. Which is able then to give rest to the distracting mind. And give rise to the mind's innate ability that exists within the realm of its subtlety. So we want to give strength to all of those positive attributes that we wish to come to fruition. They need that attention. We give that attention to the brain via the nervous system. Notice the quiet quality. The concentrating mind within a meditation practice may tend to feel light, like it's bouncing off of thought. And our objective within a meditation practice is to make that concentration steady. Things may move around that concentration, but the awareness that that concentration is maintaining is strongly focused on a very specific point, just there in front of you. When I say just there in front of you, I mean the entire body's worth of in front of you. Because remember, we're working on this concept of union, which means all of our senses are being enveloped by the experience. And concentration is no different from relaxation or from breathing. So what you see as a point there in front of you, you also feel, you also hear, you also smell, you also taste. And what's profound is what we're breathing into is that baseline sensation, that blissful, joyous expression. So we're bringing strength to that subtlety that's the base of every other sensation which occurs. So this softening and letting go of all that is light and passing through, so that we can get to what is sustaining, weighted, and long-lasting. Because now over time the mind will begin to reflect thought and state to support that which you feel. So what is the constant is going to then become steady. The space of meditation is eternal in its expansive quality. But within that eternal expressive, it is absolutely present in its ability to be housed within a single body, connecting to sensation, to rhythm of breath and state of mind. So that realm of expansiveness is this quality or this space of dynamic stillness. So very still, but dynamic at the same time. So now that's what we're relating to. We're relating to it as who we are, but as something which is separate. And that's the interesting thing about it. And that's the learning through meditation. And also the human experience is how to sustain a base of sensation, a rhythm, and a concentration that enables a union to occur between the questioner and the answer. And what's been explored over thousands of years is that one of the first steps towards this complete connection is actually creating a channel of communication, so that what is being heard is then being trusted, acted upon. And then what is being acted is then received on that other side. So it's a channel that we want to create, using the body as the vessel, the breath as the life-giving energy, and the mind as the magnetic concentration, in order to create a communication field. For that creative mystery that exists between you and I. Becoming ever so patient with yourself on how you posture your body in order to maintain the depth of comfort and relaxation, so that you can receive the steadiness of your meditation. Becoming increasingly more patient, especially to your mind within meditation. And the patience manifests in your ability to no longer react to that which you see right there in front of you. There's really only one task to maintain within a meditation practice, and that is to strengthen your ability to focus on that single expressive creativity which moves through all three: body, breath, and mind. Seeing with all of your senses the truth of its union. And if it is not seen within the truth of its union, have patience with yourself. That reaction, soften it. That catching of the sensation, let it go. And return back to the breathing rhythm, which is going to sustain your movement upon the path. see where your mind goes. And know that you are not that which you can see. Or even feel. And now make it very possible for yourself to dissolve and reveal that which exists just beneath and around that which you see and feel. The language of meditation is that of stillness, of becoming very quiet. So even the dialogue that you hear is not needed. And we learn how to hear this silent language through listening to the space that you see and that you feel. All is a vibration of dynamic stillness. What does that sound like? And within that which you hear, what does that feel like? What does that look like? At each opportunity, we are uniting the field of experience. This unification produces a purity. Pure sensation, pure sound, pure thought, pure understanding, pure emotion. And through that experience, we pierce through this random oscillation into the steadiness of joy. And also bliss. To connect to that pure vibration within the dynamic stillness is to become restful in the most quiet place inside of you. Free from your regular operating thought pattern and process where you can connect to that well of creativity. That spreads itself across the eternity. Which is also housed within the sensations of your body, the rhythms of your breath, and the states of your mind. And we are learning how to maintain connection and a channel of communication from this creative expression to our individual experience, sending and receiving on a continuous fluidity. No longer drawing the borders of beginning and end, but feeling it between the cells within the body. When the opportunity arises, we take deep breaths into that which we feel. increasing our ability to enjoy. Bringing our gaze into that space, just there in front of us, we maintain that quality of space and its integrity. Becoming responsible for its health and well-being, so that it is uninterrupted in its ability to flow with that creative source. No thought should distract you from that creative flow. All thought over time is orientated towards stabilizing the ability to connect. And maintain stable understanding. Softening your gaze. Seeing the subtlety that exists there. Noticing the subtlety potentially for the first time. Hold your gaze within that innocence. And very softly and gently allow the eyes to open. Any questions or comments? So you can see, as creative as a meditation practice is, it's also grounded within a particular method. instructions that are primarily outlined by you naturally, your body, its physiology, its psychology. And we want to tune our senses to become incredibly present with the series of instruction as it arises. And this is why the importance to become quiet inside, quieting down all that which would become or be classified as a distraction. And let the natural experience guide the process. So naturally the body relaxes. It guides us into that. Naturally the breath is demanding your attention. Allow it to teach that. Naturally the mind is searching for concentration. Allow the mind to concentrate. The mind. Concentrate the awareness so that the awareness is no longer bouncing from thought to thought, but instead is staying steady. Yes. Hi.
This is great.
Uh-huh.
What about the, I experience, my body wants to do certain things, like my mouth wants to open, and it's involuntary, or my head wants to turn a certain way. What is that about, and is that good? Should I allow that, or?
Well, oftentimes it's a subconscious activity. So it's a tendency that could be triggering a comfort, so increasing in your comfort, or releasing a pattern. But over time, ideally we begin to just rest into a steadiness. But if the body wishes to move, then let it move a little bit, because eventually it won't.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it has to move through that.
I think it's best to let it do its little movements and not hold too rigid, because over time it'll just settle. But remembering that aspect of patience. So the patience is in two sides. So the patience expresses itself to enable the body and the mind to do what it needs to do. But secondly, the patience is on the other side, which is holding the body and mind to the technique, which is guiding that deeper awareness through its tendencies.
Oh, okay.
So then it's for you to determine on what is that. Is it a tendency that is attempting to distract, or is it something that is wishing to support?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll define that, and as you define it, then what needs to happen will happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. My other question with the cleanse coming up is how, and I'm sure it will, but how will the cleanse support
so much
meditation, physical postures?
Oh my goodness. Because when we remove the eating pattern, the eating habits that are supporting the mental activity and the activity of the body, when we take those out, then immediately we have so much more room. On an energetic level, there's more energy that can be used for something else, but also what would be covered or what would be working through is no longer there. And what we're supplementing it with is nutrients-rich food and vibration-rich food. So your meditation becomes very strong. And then if you incorporate cleansing techniques into that, then all that needs to be moved through, because you're no longer having it covered by that comfort food, it actually moves through you. Yeah, so on an emotional side, we work through a lot,
Cool.
which frees up the mind for meditation. You become so deep.
Cool.
Yeah, great.
All right.
This
Thanks.
is great news. Any other questions about anything? It's quiet in here. What is nice to remember with meditation is how easy it is. This is very easy. Your posture is easy. Your breathing is easy. Your mind is very easy. Why? Because it enjoys it. It enjoys becoming quiet. Your thinking mind at the moment might not, or at any time it might not, but you enjoy it. And that's where that patience comes in again. Just being patient with those elements that are used to running in a particular way. Let them play themselves out, but let them play themselves out. No longer chasing, just let them play themselves out. And then just simply do what's easy and what you enjoy. Now, what's the intelligence within that which we must strengthen is that sometimes that tendency which seems to be easy is actually challenging, that we keep looping, but it's easy to go to because it's such a well-worn path. Again, that's why we develop patience. So let it run along and just stay easy. Yes.
Could you speak to me or to us about the obstacles when you're practicing meditation? Sometimes these meditative experiences have like vibrant colors come up and you get fixed on that for a while and they distract you. So can you speak how you get through some of that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Dissolve it.
Okay.
That's the short answer.
How does one dissolve it?
That's the whole conversation that happens inside. That's the learning. How do you dissolve it? That's what meditation is teaching. And it always comes back to the comfort of the body and really understanding the sensation, because that's what's taking the attention that's wound in the mind and bringing it down to the rhythm of the breathing and to that sensation of the body. And then build from there as a technique. But now the second thing is to not necessarily look at it as an obstacle, but rather just an experience that you're having. And almost to enjoy it, because it's not going to be there forever. It's just not. It doesn't. So, seeing it just for what it is. It's just that color. And it's a stage of your meditation. So right now, This is your stage of meditation. This is as deep as you are. And accepting that in its own beauty is then to discover that it is all sacred. It is all incredibly good. It is what it is because it is happening now.
Okay. Is there a possibility for the mind to become attached to the dynamic stillness?
No. Because it is so subtle that it continuously changes. It's in a dynamic format. So the moment you feel that you have it, it's impossible to go back to that again. So it's so incredibly elusive. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Very good. We have time for one or two more questions. Yes, sir.
I find there's a point in the energetic experience of times when I meditate that there's a capacity to it, where I feel, even though there's expansiveness, there's an outlining kind of boundary. And though I know there's no intruding thoughts, like there isn't anything that's allowed to come in and take me away from that experience, there seems to be an insight that comes in while I'm transitioning back. So from that experience of the energetic to coming back to like a more grounded physical experience, that because of that experience of the energetics, there's an insight that comes up that starts to show up as images and dialogue and communication. And I'm wondering, is that part of the distraction, or is that like the higher self that's coalescing with me in a way that I can relate the easiest?
This would be supportive thought.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's in the form of insight and supporting that expressive, expansive experience that you're having and the connection to the creativity as you're coming back from your meditation, that insight piece, that's supportive thought. So that's insight, then creating thought pattern to then maintain a mental state, which then translates into a sensation, then supported by the breathing, like from the technical aspect. Mm-hmm.
And is that a way to keep a resonance with that energetic form? You like, even though it may like dissipate or not be so powerful or so noticeable, that's its way of coming in and allowing it to sort of manifest its way throughout time.
Yeah, step by step.
Yeah.
So then the objective would be not to attempt to catch on to it or return back to that within another meditation, but just accepting the insight for what it is, and then allowing it just to infuse itself within the cellular body. And then opportunities arise like that.
Cool.
In a more often fashion. Yeah, very good.
Great, thank you.
That's very nice. It's nice. That's very good. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. And there's no